Hey everyone, Carrie Beck here with Homeschool Blogger Network, and that is who is bringing this class to you as well. I am going to try to keep up with the chat. Um, and Charlene says she already has that resource. Thank you so much. I'm excited about this. This is just a down home conversation with you, as if we were at a coffee shop. Yeah, and we were talking about ways to make money, ways that you could help with your single family income. Because and for those of you that don't know, the name of this class is Three Clear Steps to Build Steady Income Without Sacrificing Your Homeschool. Some of you, most of you probably are single income families. You want some margin. You don't need millions. I don't need millions, to be perfectly honest, but you do want some margin so you're not constantly under that finance pressure on your shoulders. You maybe have tried blogging or podcasting or making a printable and putting it on Etsy, but you're not really making much. I believe that you don't need more time. You need the right strategy. So think about this. What if the answer to earning from home isn't working more time, but focusing smarter? You get a clear, simple path that homeschool moms are using to build steady income without sacrificing what matters most. Some of y'all have already started a business, keep putting something in the chat as far as building a business. I would say about half of y'all haven't started, so we will go from here as if that you haven't started an online business. But some of you may feel stuck, scattered, or really unsure about where to start. This class today is going to give you direction. So let me give you something you can use today. Now, the one thing I forgot to do, and I'm going to grab it right now, is the handout. This is the link to the handout. I call it a handout. I would really say it is a workbook because you're going to do a little bit of work. You're going to answer some questions about yourself. There is the handout, and that is for you to be able to work. And we start at the top of the handout or workbook with three commitments, whether you're listening to this live class or you're listening to a replay. Three commitments that you will make in this class because I'm going to make a commitment to you that I will give you information that you can use this week. First commitment, be full in during this master class. I know kids come in, homeschooling may make it hard, but be full in. If you can shut the door, shut the door. That doesn't always happen. Um, Leave a comment every time you have a question. If you don't understand something, put it in the chat so that I can answer your question. We want to keep each other accountable. And then use that workbook or handbook um, and write down your answers to our planning session. I'm going to give you questions so that you can start planning a business that would actually make a steady income. I personally think that handwriting is most important. That's a whole nother subject. You raising leader students, you probably heard me talk about it. You can type it out later, but when you use your hand and you take notes by hand, it slows down your brain and you can think more about whatever the topic is. So, number one, be full in during this class. Number two, make a decision. You are going to need to make decisions if you want to build or grow a business. At the end of this class, I want you to make one decision. You could vacillate, but I think it's better to pull the trigger. And I'll be honest, even if you're not ready, I learn more from my failures than my successes as well. All right, so be full in during the class, make a decision, play big, and dream big. I will be honest, a lot of times we're like, maybe I can make $50 a month. No, you probably need some extra money. Maybe $500 a month would help you pay for some groceries, pay for gas. Be Play big, not 2,000 people, maybe, I don't know. If you don't have an email list, and we're going to talk about that, then maybe just starting and saying, I'm going to hit 250. I'm not going to worry about 25. I'm going to get 250 people on my list because that is sort of the magic number. Think and dream bigger than you did last year. Sometimes we don't have a choice. Sometimes God puts it in our path. Sometimes we kick get a kick in the rear from failure. Did you know I have done launches and I've gotten goose eggs, like zero sales? So I really want you to think big. I will tell you that in May 2020, so that's about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, almost May, I lost half my income. All I had was a hobby business, and I had to think big, play big, and dream big. I will say this, on Memorial Day of that year, lost my income. By Labor Day, that's through the summer, God was using all the actions that I was taking. Action brings clarity. All right. And so God was using those, and I had big plans. They were fulfilled, and I was starting to make a full-time in the income. So we need to play big, dream big, be full in, and make a decision by the end of this class. Now, I want to talk to you about something that you could do. Some of you are brand new to online business. Some of you already have a business, but you're not really making that much money. I want you to think about these three questions. They're in your workbook, and I'm going to give you a few minutes to write down your answers. If you don't have the workbook printed out, then just grab a piece of paper or your phone notes and write this down. Who do I already help naturally? Who are the people around me that I help? I'm pretty sure you help people. Number one, who do I help? Number two, what questions do people already ask me? What are some things that I already know people ask me questions about? And then number three, what problem could I solve in 1 hour? Think about these right now. I'm going to give you a minute to be able to write that down. Who do I already help naturally? Two, what questions do people already ask me? And number three, what problem could I solve in 1 hour? I'm going to give you about 1 minute to think of those answers. Again, this is participatory. You got to participate. All right. And I'm going to read the chat while y'all have a minute of silence to write those three questions down. Who do I help naturally? What questions do people already ask me? And what problem could I solve in 1 hour? Okay. We don't have time to like spend an hour doing all the questions. You go back to these questions when we're done because it can help you start a plan. Now, I want you to know that income comes from solving problems. Income comes from solving problems. That's why I say, what problem could you solve in 1 hour? You see, there are people in the past. Let's look at Mary Kate. I don't remember who said that. They saw Mary Kate. That solves a problem, skincare, and it's grown since then. I actually still use Mary Kay sometimes, but skincare, they are solving a problem. We can solve a problem here online as well. So, general blogging, if you're just blogging about homeschooling or you're just blogging about parenting, no income. That's how I was years ago. I would just make these activity guides because I thought they were cool, just so people would sign up for them and I get their email. Did I make money? No, I had no plan. There was no system to this. When you have a specific problem that you solve, you can begin to make income. I was interviewing Lisa Naring a couple months ago, and this is exactly what she said is we were teaching teens how to make money. It doesn't matter if teens are doing it or adults are doing it. For me, I know that I help overwhelmed moms, stressed out homeschoolers, and Christian moms that want something from a Christian perspective. And that is how I created Raising Leaders, Not Followers. It solves a problem. And so people buy it. What problem will you solve? All right. So hopefully you've got at least a few ideas if they're not all written down. I want you to think about this and let's turn this in to something you could put out there. turn one topic that you maybe have written down that people ask you about. You have to make it right now, but what checklist could you make? What workshop could you create? What $17 mini resource could you create? I want you to think for a second. What could you create that solves one problem? Don't go solve all the problems you wrote down. One problem. What are you going to create? Write it down. I hope that by looking at this, you can see that you already have something valuable because you have knowledge that will help someone out. And selling is serving. Let me say it again. Selling is serving. Serving is selling. It's nothing more, nothing less. Now, some of you know me and some of you don't, but let me introduce myself and then we will move in to our 3 steps to be able to make a steady income. This is my lovely family from this summer. I'm going to give you a quick little introduction. Let's see. Ashley is our oldest. She has Elizabeth and Faith and is married to Jesse. She used to run all of our events. She was the liaison to the hotel when we had events. Gentry right here. She is married to Andrew over here, and they have Landry, Sloan, and it was Deacon's Cowboy Bob birthday when we took this. She was our shipping manager in accounting when she was in high school and college, and she took care of all of that. Hunter, Hunter is now married. Hunter and Brittany are right here. Hunter continues to have his own business. He has an Airbnb business with 2 or 3 units. He actually did our shipping. And when Gentry graduated, he took over because he was beginning college and he needed to make some money. I feel like I have been an entrepreneur since I was a kid. When I was about 8 or 9 years old, there was a company out of Colorado Springs called Current Stationery. And I would, believe it or not, I would go door to door and sell this stationery and note cards. And then they'd buy it, I'd order it, I'd come back and deliver it. That's what I did. Moving fast forward, I now have a full-time income online. As now, I'm not homeschooling now, but I was a homeschool mom. And it is possible to do this. And I actually work with people who are homeschooling and making money online. Jeanette Whitaker is at our Homeschool Blogger University. She said, Carrie is a wealth of advice and wisdom for my business. I practice what I preach. I don't just learn something and tell you to do it. I am actually doing the things that I tell Jeanette and our other Homeschool Blogger University people. Think about this. If I can show you a simpler path, one that protects your homeschool but also builds income, would that be worth an hour today, which you're doing? If so, put something in the chat. Let me know if that would be helpful to you as well. You see, we're going to be talking about exactly what you need to do. And Karma says, yes, all right. I'm going to tell you what you need to do, but if you stay with me till the end, I do have some resources and I'll share them all at the end. I want to get to the content first. But I do have real life ways that I could help you grow or start a business. All right, so let's talk about step number 1, clarity before content. I have, like me, I would just make these activity guides because I thought they were cool and they were hands-on activities that homeschoolers could use. Did I have a purpose, a reason, or a system? No. Did I make any money? No, that's why you need clarity before you make any content. Most homeschool moms start posting in the blog, producing podcast or YouTube videos, blogging. They start creating content without clarity about who they're writing to their audience, without clarity about a pathway, what we call a funnel or a system. I'm going to create this and it's going to bring in this income. And they don't have clarity about what they're going to offer as well. You see, Henry Ford and the Model T, he didn't create 20 car models. He created one car for one audience, the average American family, and he mass produced it so that it was affordable. He said any customer can have a car painted any color as long as it's black because he only made black Model T Fords. One product solves one problem for one audience. That is true clarity as well. He focused, he simplified, and then he scaled. Me, I learned this lesson a few years ago. I took a course called Digital Course Academy. I'm not recommending it to you. It's a $2,000 course. But I started to apply this one audience, one main problem with one simple offer path. And that's when I redid my whole Raising Leaders, Not Followers course. And now I don't launch something different every month of the year. I launch that course. Right now, I'm in the middle of a launch, a 1 week launch. I will launch again in May and then again in August. I am not, and you should not be having 14 blog categories, whether that's homeschooling or health or how to shoot a shotgun in 4-H. Start with one or two categories. That's it, one or two categories. Uh, you should not start trying to produce three different podcasts or three different YouTube channels. Or like me, just making random printables. That was me in the day. And I will tell you, if you already have a business and you are making content, stop making another printable and start selling what you have. You need to get out of your head because a lot of times what happens is we make all this content to sell, but we don't sell it because we're afraid. We have that imposter syndrome. And so when you get to the point of creating content because you know it will solve their problem and serve your one audience, then you can get out of your head and focus on that one thing. And that's what I do with Raising Leaders. My event last week, Life Skills Leadership Summit, specifically life skills and leadership skills so that you can send your kids off to adult land. It goes right along with my course. So whatever I'm doing, it goes right along what I'm my number one audience, my number one problem, and my number one solution. Stephanie said HBU, which is Homeschool Blogger University, helped me in so many ways. I'm finally keeping a schedule and producing more content than ever with less stress. And that's the thing. We can produce content. We just need to focus on this one problem and the one audience. Tell me what you would feel like if focusing on one clear audience and one simple offer could help reduce your overwhelm. Would that be freedom to you? Let me know in the chat. Y'all are so quiet over there. So our first step is clarity over content. And Karma's saying yes, and Charlene as well. Number one, clarity over content. Number two, build assets, not just content. What do I mean? How many of you, and you put some in the chat, where would be the first place you would start promoting your new product? Put some in the chat and let me know. I want to know this beforehand because I'm going to be telling you a story about Sarah Blakely, who founded the Spanx thing. Not sure where we would do that. That's good. Facebook, said Charlene. Anyone else? Carol or Kaylee or Becky? Any ideas? Where would you go to promote your new products? What happens is, not sure, posting on social media is renting land. You're using someone else's platform. When you have your own email list plus your own land, you are owning your asset. You're not dependent on Facebook. You know, about 3 or 4 years ago, Facebook and Instagram shut down for 24 hours, and people that didn't have an email list didn't make any money that day because they were dependent on someone else. Oh, that's a good idea. Daughter's Dance Studio. That would be interesting. Real life. I love the idea of face-to-face and online. You see, I truly believe my number one asset is my email list. I build it every single week. I do things to grow my email list. Sarah Blakely of Spanx, she didn't rely on advertising. She personally went to stores and pitched her new whatever Spanx she had come up with. She built relationships so she could sell what she had. How are you building relationships? You have got to have relationships to be able to sell something. Relationships with your future customers, collaborations so that you could get new buyers. She built a direct control of distribution. She owned her distribution strategy. She didn't depend on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram. She had her own and she could control it. For me, I spend more time on my email list writing emails than anything else. If I don't get something posted to Facebook and Instagram, oh well, because I know the biggest return on my time investment, on my money investment, is my email list. If you're in business, where do you spend your time? Are you creating content or building relationships? One of my coaching students, Jan Burt, says Carrie runs the best groups she's ever been in because there's actual accountability. And that's what I like about this. I can help you build those relationships and we can hold you accountable. Jan says, I don't feel like I'm adrift and out there on my own. I believe it's for most people, it's easier to make another printable, go to Canva, make something, or a course, or social posts than to build relationships and to grow a business. So, how can we put this into practice to build assets? I would say the number one thing if you're starting a business or you're growing it is to every week do something to build your email list. Do something. It could be pinning on Pinterest. It could be sharing on social. It could be collaborating with someone. I'm going to send an email to my list. You send one to your list, and you get some of that person's subscribers. Making a lead magnet, a freebie that solves one small problem. Freebies are good. It's a good way to get started. Your list is your income insurance. Let me say it again. Your list is your income insurance. So, number one, clarity over content. Number two, just looking to see what it is because I had it written really cool. It's building assets. I could just see what the other part is. Well, I don't have it on here. Building assets. We're just going to leave it there. Number three, sell before you feel ready. It's scary, but you need to be selling before you're actually ready. Most homeschool moms or online businesses, they wait until everything on their website has to be perfect. They wait until all the branding is done. They wait until they know enough. Meanwhile, you know how much income they make? Zero. Who said big fat zero? The Wright brothers, have y'all known the Wright brothers built that airplane? They didn't wait until their planes were perfect. They tested, they adjusted, they flew short distances, they improved publicly. So I'm going to challenge you. If you want to start or grow your business, I think you should improve publicly. There is actually a post in Homeschool Blogger Network that's going up in 4 minutes at 3:30, and it says, "Let's be public. Let's share what date are you going to launch this product? What what are you going to start selling? Put it out there so that if you put it out there, you are going to hold yourself more accountable. I know that the people in our Homeschool Blogger University and our mastermind, Jan Burke, for instance, she goes, every time you sent me an action plan, every month I printed it out. So I knew what I needed to do. Another one, Danielle, she's like, the week before we're supposed to meet, I'm like, oh, have I done the things I told them I was supposed to do? So putting it out publicly will hold you accountable. If you stopped waiting and started testing, how much faster would you move? If you stopped waiting and started testing your idea, would you wait another year? No, you would probably take action. If you could have seen me, I guess how long ago was it? 15 years ago when I did my first Racing Leaders, Not Followers version one, it was horrible. It was it wasn't even a Google Doc. I think it was like a Word doc. Watch video one from 3 minutes to 7 minutes, 20 seconds, and then do this activity. It was horrible, but people bought it. I have refined it. This is the third. I did that. I refined it. a little bit better and did it all in Google Drive. And then I refined it to a 12-week course, which was overwhelming. And now I've got the one that I like right now. I guess that's version 4. I had to keep testing. I kept putting it out there publicly. I sold when it wasn't really ready. Right now, my website needs updating. It always needs updating. So what can you do? And put something in the chat. Let me know. What could you do to start selling something? Could you sell a workshop before you build a course? Could you sell your course before you've created it? I've done that. When I redid Raising Leaders, Not Followers, before I even made the first video, I had sold 8 copies. Why? Because I went and found what I call founding members, and they were willing to take it for feedback. And they got extra coaching, extra things from me. This is what I teach. I was just teaching this. What is today? Wednesday, Monday. I had a mastermind meeting, and I was talking about you need to sell this before you ever create it. Why spend 25 hours creating a course and no one wants it? You can pre-sell a printable before perfecting it. That's what I encourage my Homeschool Blogger University students. Go and pre-sell this. If you get 2 people to buy it, maybe it's not as important and it's not solving the problem they need. Launch messy, launch scrappy. For me, scrappy means I get in to people's DMs. Yes, I use my email to send out to thousands, but I also send individual emails as well. Excuse me. Taking action creates clarity. I'm going to say that again. Taking action creates clarity. What action? Put something in the chat. What could you do right now to get started? So, Dan was one of our students about 15 years ago, and he said he made $27,604 on his first webinar after implementing some of Stephen Mai's strategies. He went from 22 average attendees to 332 on his first webinar. This is something that really is possible. So, clarity before content, build ad sets, not just social posts. Sell before you're ready. Another one of our students, Erica, she's like, she just had like ideas coming out of her head, all these things, but she was stuck in information overload, action paralysis, 4 years. She says, I am no longer paralyzed as one of our students. I am in action. So if you stop waiting for perfection and you took some messy action, action gives clarity. And we want clarity before content. How many of you believe you'd finally see some movement in what you want to do or what you're already doing? Could you see that? If you stopped waiting to be perfect and you took messy action, how could that help you? And I really believe if you try to do this alone, you're going to spin your wheels just like I did. Charlene says, I can ask my close friends what they are most wanting now. That's a good point. I think you do need to sort of see what are the questions people are asking you. Go back to that little 5-minute exercise at the beginning. Who's asking you? What are they asking you? What problem could you solve? You probably already know that, but I do think it's good to ask people that question as well. You see, everything that I've shared with you today, it is just the tip of the iceberg. Homeschool entrepreneurs who are consistently hitting their goals aren't doing it alone. They have support, they have accountability, and they have ongoing training. And that's why I created Homeschool Blogging University. It is a unique online group that will help you go from feeling overwhelmed, confused, or unsure about how to take your business to the next level to feeling confident as you move forward and make consistent income online. There is no more false hope. It's trustworthy. And again, I'm not just teaching you how to make money. I have a whole homeschool business, and that is proven. It's not in the make money business, it is in the homeschool niche as well. What does this mean? It means that you get monthly group coaching. Every month we get together for an hour and we brainstorm ideas. Joy Raycott said HBU is a game changer with impactful sessions every month, as well as seasoned bloggers, because we bring in experts pulling together to help you along the way in implementing what you learn. It is community, accountability, and knowledge. We have accountability system. So when we meet each week, you're going to say, I'm going to do this for the next 4 weeks. And we'll put that up in our group chat, and then we'll come back and say, well, what did you get done? Just like Erica, who went from action paralysis to actively building her profitable future. We have something called co-working sessions. The last month, I guess I could share this screen so that you can actually see this. Let's see if I can find the share screen thing. There we go. Here's something you can look at just to see what I'm talking about. But co-working sessions, our next one is March 24th. It's usually the last week of the month. And these are chances to you to work along. You're going to get work done, but you also get questions. Where are you stuck? We're going to talk about that. Every quarter, we do a deep dive training. Our next one here is April 7th, the buyer magnet method. You know what happens with a lot of the businesses I work with? All they have are freebie seekers. We're going to share a buyer magnet method so that you get people on your email list that are buyers and not freebie seekers. And then we have a private community that you can ask questions as well. Let me just tell you, this is not easy for me. When I lost my income in 2020, it was gone. I had to as my friend says, Carrie, you reinvented yourself. And I did. I came in and I believe I knew things to do. I didn't know if they would really work because it had been about 10 or 15 years since I had tried them. I don't want you to have to deal with that. I want to help you along the way. Katie Horner, who's an expert in a business coach, blogging, in a world of competition and comparison, Homeschool Blogger University's heart for collaboration and the success of the homeschool blogging community individually as a whole is refreshing. You won't go wrong learning from our influencers and experts that brings you for success in life and business. So right now, I bet you're saying, I don't know. There's a lot on there. There is. But let me tell you, it is if you I have some people go, well, I can't afford that. It is $25 a month. If you make $26 a month, you just made $1 every month. That's not much, but let's say you make $50, then you're making 25 profit. You're making a bonus of 25. If you pay quarterly, it's $20 a month, and it's even less if you decide you want to pay annually as well. But this is something that I truly believe can help you. I know that you are serious. And like I said, there are three options to join. I want this program to be affordable to you. I want you to be able to enroll today and jump in and get started. And I really encourage you to actually, if you have teenagers, I'd be getting them to do this as well. I forgot to actually put this in the chat. There we go. There is the link if you want to take a look. Angela Taylor was in it too, and she just said, HBU's given me great resources through helpful videos, live streams, course offerings that I've been able to use right away. I've appreciated the support and community this group offers over the last few months as I build my website and my brand. So think about it. You've just learned strategies that could increase your profit. One strategy could be to pay for an entire year of HBU. But I want you to know that anyone that decides to do this, I am here and we're going to walk alongside together. Anyone that decides to join in the next 24 hours, I've got a $97 course that I will throw in for you. It's called Connect the Dots to a Steady Income. And it shows you step by step how to grow your email list, how to get that freebie out there, and how to start making money, and how to get that funnel. That's what we call it. So that you take a freebie and it goes to your brand new paid product for your one audience, your one problem solving, and your forgot what the other one was. One audience and one problem that you're going to solve with one product solution. But you may be going, I don't know, I'm pulled in so many directions. Maybe you're confused about what to do next, ready to pull out your hair. That long to-do list about things, and I've got to make some money. Where do I start? Or maybe you have to make this work because your husband lost his job, or as a friend of mine, her husband had a stroke this weekend. He's no longer able to work right now, and they don't know how they're going to make money. And that is not a made up story. That is the truth. You want freedom to be at home, to be able to take care of them. This is a way you can do it. You just do it straight from your home. I want you to think about why you showed up today. By now, I think you can see how this offer, this membership can help you bust through any sticking points that have stopped you from pulling the trigger. And that's what happens a lot of times. We're afraid to, oh, I can only see a Zoom screen on your end. Okay, let's see. Let me try sharing this again. Oh, you're right. Here's what you're supposed to be seeing. Does that help? So sorry. There you go. There's all the things I've just been talking about. Um, maybe you're feeling like, I just can't spend the money. I understand, especially in these times of uncertainty. Consider this perspective. If you implement this project process and you make $100, let's say you make, well, what would it be? If you make $300 this year, you've already made a profit, even if you go with the monthly route of $25 a month. And that is a possibility. All right. And so this is a way that you could actually start to make money, start to help with your family income. If you're done playing small and ready to build a profitable business you've been dreaming of, click the link in the chat and join Homeschool Blogger University. Your homeschool business doesn't have to be a side hustle forever. You have something value to offer the people that keep asking you questions. They are waiting for exactly what you provide. Are you going to hold it back? Will you step up and serve them? Remember, every successful entrepreneur made the decision to invest in themselves before they saw the results. They didn't wait until I can afford it because I can never afford it. I'll tell you this. When Steve and I first got in our first mastermind, well, first, when we started, there was nothing like this. I would have paid $25 in a heartbeat. When we started paid our first mastermind, it was $10,000 a year. That was expensive. Thankfully, it paid for itself. And I think $25 a month or quarterly at $20 a month can pay for itself. So here we are. It's time to answer all of your burning questions. I'm going to open it up. If you have questions, let me know. And I am happy to help as soon as I go find the chat again because I sort of lost it. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now you can see it. Um, do you have any questions? Oh, you're welcome, Karma. I don't know who else was in here asking that, Charlene. What questions do y'all have about this? What questions do you have about building a business? I am here to help. And like I said, we have been in the online business world since 2004. When we moved to Idaho, we could not take Steve's remodeling company from Texas to Idaho. We chose to start an online business, and it supported our entire family for all 4 years we were there, and it continued when we came back home as well. So, what questions? Do I have to sign up now? No, you don't. You can sign up when you want to. All right. But I will say we've got a coaching session in 2 weeks on March 19th. And that is a chance. And another question I just got, how does this group coaching session work? What happens is we all get there. Like last time, I think there were 5 of us. And so if there's me and 4 others, everyone gets a 15 minutes to talk about what their questions are. And we brainstorm some answers for them. If there's one person, you get the whole hour. If there's 8 people, then you would get about 7 or 8 minutes each. Everyone gets individual time during this group coaching, and you actually get to learn from other people. Because I will tell you, there was a time one of the girls was really down, and we used it as an encouragement time. And one of the other members had the gift of, what do you call it? Not exhortation, encouragement. She just was like, yes, I know this is going to work. And she was going on and on. And I just told her later, thank you. Thank you for your encouragement. You have got that gift. And so it is a group effort. Now I'm going to bring in my expertise. Generally, I speak for the first 5 minutes. It's just one little strategy or tip that will help you. And then the other thing that's coming up, April Every quarter, the next one will be in July. You're going to get the buyer magnet method. That is pretty cool. How do we get buyers? I mean, I have lots of students and coaching students that are like, I can't figure this out. All I have are tire kickers. All they want is freebies. There are strategies to get buyers on your list so that they spend money. And I'm going to be sharing some of those in on April 7th, which is just a month away. Otherwise, you're going to wait till July for the next training. So, what other questions? Charlene, thank you. That's cool. It really is. The other thing you're going to get is a library. If you notice, I did not mention this right here. You'll get all the trainings that we have had since 2000, and there's a library of those. And so you can go back and watch any of our old trainings as well. And again, the course, if you sign up in the next 24 hours, connect the dots to steady income. It is a VIP course workshop that I did all day one Saturday. And you're going to get all the videos, all the workbooks, all the training, and it will be step by step on how to get started to make a steady income as well. How would you document your sales and expenses for tax purposes? I personally use QuickBooks. I've been using QuickBooks for a long time, and so I just document all of that. I do keep receipts. I have been surprised at some of my students that do not, they just keep emails of their visa, and I'm like, well, what if you miss it? I mean, there are a lot of times I miss an email, and so I use QuickBooks. It helps me stay balanced and everything. Every time someone buys a printable or workshop, well, I use a program. You would probably need a shopping cart, and I use Thrive Cart. But if you're first starting out, you might want WooCommerce, and it should have some reporting for you as well. And so each month you could download the reporting for that as well. So if you have your credit card statement, your bank statement, and your shopping cart, you should be able to take care of that, enter it into QuickBooks, and you'd be good to go. That's a good question. We actually did a tax one about 2 years ago, a tax training. So maybe it's about time to do another tax training. It won't be before April 15th. Other questions? What ideas do y'all have? Leave something in the chat. If you were to start an online business, what kind of online business would you, what niche would you be doing this in? I would love to see what you have to say. And then we're going to be closing out. Any other questions? Anything else? If you do have questions later on, please shoot me an email or shoot me a DM on Facebook. That's where I am the most. If you're going to send me something um, on social media. Oh, that's great. Who is this? Gotta get back in the chat. Charlene, translating from English to Spanish. We do have some English, some Spanish, people, people that are helping with translations or translating. That would be a really neat way to do it. If there is something about translating from English to Spanish, maybe we could come up with some products that would help an audience. That sounds like a needed uh, problem to solve. Or about the Mary Kay products. You could take some of the things that you're learning here and use them towards your Mary Kay. I know they have tons of trainings. Any network marketing is going to have good training as well, but we can help you with the online parts as well. And maybe build up an email list where you could work on Mary Kay products and maybe skincare things and maybe tie in some other skincare products. Maybe there's some things on Amazon. I don't know what your contract says, but maybe you can offer that and start a blog or a podcast on skincare because I know that's a need. How about skincare for people over 60? It's taken me a while to find stuff that I actually like that I feel like is doing a good job, but that would be a really tight niche. And they say the tighter your niche, the more you get rich. So I'm not all about getting rich. I am about helping people and being able to make money from it. All right, if y'all have any questions, let me know. I would love for you to join us in Homeschool Blogger University. We'll talk to you next time.